Well, so many of the Kentucky fans who were here have cleared out after their upset loss against Oakland as NC State controls the opening tip in the first meeting between these two schools since 1954.
That was a good year.
How about that? Happy birthday, Lap.
Thank you.
Here's DJ Burns. First shot won't go.
The biggest decision Grant McCasland has in this game is what is he going to do with DJ Burns? You don't double him, he scores. You double him, he picks you apart. That's going to be the interesting thing to see initially.
Here's Williams, a jumper. And it is Burns with the rebound. DJ Horn for three. Curious to see NC State, after playing 5 games in 5 days at the ACC tournament, what they have left for this one as Joe Toussaint connects.
He's become really good at that mid-range. He's only a 30% three-point shooter, but getting in the lane and pulling up and doing a good job of that. Well, they're not bringing a double. And you certainly can't leave Horn alone. That's the problem.
Burns, good defense down low. Isaacs, yes, Pop Isaacs tied for 5th in the Big 12, scoring close to 16 points per game. Burns locates Michael O'Connell for 3, and we have a whistle and a foul is called on Kerwin Walton of the Red Raiders.
DJ Burns has such a good feel. So that's an easy one.
Burns such a good passer, as you've been talking about. Spinning down low, knocks over Jennings, and a blocking foul is called.
You know, Jennings is a really physical guy. Now, obviously, he's not as physical or as big as Burns, but he's leaning on him pretty good. Wow. I think if you were going to call the foul, you had to call it a lot earlier than that.
Jennings 230 pounds, DJ Burns listed at 275.
And they're not doubling him so far.
Knocks him over. This time it's a charge.
Robert Jennings doing a good job so far because they're not doubling. He's got to handle Burns all by himself.
And some full court pressure now for the Wolfpack.
And that's they're one of the most pressing teams in the country. But you know, yet we asked Kevin Keats about that. He said, yeah, we kind of show it and then we're running back because we don't want to run out of juice.
And a turnover as Jennings lost it.
They want to play one of the quickest paces in the country, NC State. They want to push it. Texas Tech is the opposite. They want to play slow.
DJ Horn. O'Connell hit the miraculous shot in the ACC semifinals against Virginia to force overtime. As Burns is turned around, no good. Diarra cleans it up in the foul. Mohamed Diarra will have a chance at a three-point play.
You know, last week, DJ Burns made all of those shots. It's like I never saw him miss. He's already missed 3 inside the lane, but Diarra had 60 rebounds in the ACC tournament. That was a record for the ACC tournament.
The foul was on Kerwin Walton. That's already his second. And a question mark tonight for Grant McCasland is the availability of Warren Washington. Has not played the last 5 games because of a foot injury. He is in uniform on the bench tonight. And Evan, what's the latest?
Well, I just confirmed he is available. He's dealing with that toe injury. It has bothered him. He tried to come back a few weeks ago, re-aggravated it. But in this game against Burns, he would be so valuable to add size inside. But again, he's been fighting through that toe injury that can be really challenging.
Yeah, and he's second in the Big 12 in blocks. So, I mean, what he does for their defense really helps.
Toussaint for three. And there is Chance McMillan flying in for the offensive board.
And he's a great sixth man who is a tremendous shooter.
This time, Toussaint connects. And Washington is at the scorer's table set to check in. So McCaslin is going to see what the big guy has early. Middlebrooks for two off the feed from DJ Horn.
He played well in the AC tournament, also coming off the bench.
Transfer from Clemson in his first year with NC State.
And both these teams primarily man-to-man. They may throw a zone here and there on a possession, but they are man-to-man teams.
McMillan for three. Off the mark, O'Connell with the rebound 4 minutes in. Morcell, nice moves down low, but too close. However, he draws a foul. No doubt. Their first ACC tournament championship since 1987. See, Darian Williams has a little tape in the nose with Casey Morcell at the free throw line. You can watch live men's. Morcell said the big key for NC State in that ACC tournament run is they did not beat themselves. They felt like a lot of their losses this year were self-inflicted. They cleaned that up in the ACC tournament, looking to carry that over here tonight.
And you know, they're one of the best teams in the country at not turning the ball over.
Isaac's three no good. Washington is on the floor for Texas Tech.
He looks like he's running okay.
Horn, no. And Isaac's the other way, right at Middlebrooks, draws contact and the foul.
Pop Isaacs has taken 146 free throws this year, so he really does like to go aggressively to the basket.
Foul is on Middlebrooks. That's his first. Isaacs was held to a season-low 6 points in the Big 12 tournament loss to Houston.
One thing to keep an eye on with Texas Tech is them getting to the free throw line, because they are one of the best free throw shooting teams in the country.
77% on the year as Horn knocks down a three. Fourth in the ACC, shooting 41% from deep. Isaacs to the corner and Williams. That three won't go, and Diarra with the rebound. Diarra, the leading rebounder for the Wolfpack, 7.5 per night. Here's Horn, another three, and it's good again. DJ Horn with his 95th three of the year.
I mean, this guy can light it up.
A 9-2 run for NC State.
Middlebrooks did a good job of hedging that screen there.
Williams with the shot clock winding down, no good, and the rebound to DJ Horn. O'Connell, the transfer from Stanford. Jumper comes up short, tipped around, and corralled by Williams. Washington, he's back. And off the feed from Toussaint.
And they don't go in transition very often, but they outran NC State that time. That Toussaint did a great job getting over that screen on Horn that time.
Diarra,
I don't know about that one.
19 threes on the year for Diarra. Not his specialty. Isaac showing off his great speed so far in the first half, but that shot will not go. And a foul committed by Isaacs. Already 5 fouls against the Red Raiders. Monday on CBS. You know, Steve, I think back to last year, we called Purdue and FDU that incredible upset. And you said, how can anything top that? And then the last game of the night in Columbus was Memphis, Florida Atlantic, which was a phenomenal game. So we'll see if NC State and Texas Tech can repeat.
We've had a couple of good ones.
Middlebrooks turnaround, yes.
Tell you what, he can do some things himself. That's why DJ Burns only plays 23 minutes.
Kevin Keats will probably only go 8 deep tonight as McMillan scores. Dennis Parker has not played since March 4th due to an illness, and Keats told us yesterday it's a game time decision, so he'll probably stick to 8 if Parker's not able to play. Jaden Taylor, the transfer from Butler, is on the floor right now. Here is Taylor in the corner. And he turns it over. 3-on-2 the other way. Toussaint for 3. And tipped out to Washington, who was hovering on the perimeter.
I like how Toussaint got the ball to the middle of the floor in that break.
Walton no good, and Middlebrooks is able to grab it out of the air. O'Connell nearly had it poked away from behind. Middlebrooks counted and one. Benny Ballgame has come to play. Ben Middlebrooks already. NC State's last NCAA tournament win came in 2015. Made the tournament last year, but lost in the first round to Creighton. Earlier today here in Pittsburgh, Creighton advancing to the second round. DJ Burns back on the floor as Williams hits the 3.
Darian Williams, a transfer from Nevada. Grant McCaslin told us that he is the heart and soul of this team. He does so many good things. He can shoot the 3, great passer, good rebounder.
Called him a winner. And they really are happy to have him back in the lineup tonight. Morcell's 3 no good. Middlebrooks, offensive rebound, right back up, and he's fouled.
I'll tell you, they get a lot of productivity from their 2 big men. They got Burns, who plays 24 minutes. Middlebrooks plays 16. He averages 5 and 4 in those 16 minutes. So they get a lot out of those 2 centers they have.
2 shots.
Washington hops off the bench. He's going to come back in for the Red Raiders. Couch or courtside, refresh your fandom with a delicious Coke Zero Sugar. Is it the best Coke ever? Try and decide. The foul on Kerwin Walton, his second.
And that hurts because he is one of their best 3-point shooters.
So Jennings and Walton each have 2 for the Red Raiders. Middlebrooks already with 9 points. His career high is 14. Toussaint, good balance, and hits the jumper.
Like I said, that mid-range game for him, getting into the lane and pulling up. Not something that we saw from him in the other stops he had.
Yeah, started at Iowa, and then last year at West Virginia, his 4th NCAA tournament appearance. with 3 different schools.
There's got to be a foul. There has to be a foul there.
And Burns still can't get going.
I mean, all that bumping.
Williams left alone. This is the 3.
Surprising to see Texas Tech pushing it this much.
Here's Horn. Toussaint, and a foul is called. Diarra was all over that shot.
Yeah, Texas Tech pushing it up in transition. Joe Toussaint.
Foul was on Taylor before the block. Oh, they're saying it was a shooting foul.
Wow.
I thought it was on the floor. Texas Tech a 1-point lead as we approach 9 minutes to play in the first half. Burns still looking for his first field goal. He's got it.
No double. And you know, the way he bangs, they bang. They'd have to call, but if they call 1 foul or 2 fouls, that stuff will stop. But that was a great move by Burns. And I guess they've decided they'd rather see him make 2s than him kick it out to guys for 3.
On the baseline, Washington stepped out of bounds.
You see DJ Burns here wheeling on the block. I mean, look, I mean, that is a foul. I mean, you know what I mean? That physicality in the low post.
He had an all-time quote. He said, as a kid, I watched a lot of Hakeem Olajuwon videos. He said, but I ended up with a Zach Randolph build. As Horn scores.
You know what? Hakeem Olajuwon had great footwork. This guy can't do it. This guy made 93 threes this year and shoots it over 40%.
Horn already with 8 points tonight. Middlebrooks leading the way with 9 points in just 7 minutes. He's not on the floor right now as DJ Burns who's out there. McMillan. Out to Isaacs with 10 to shoot. Slings one in the corner to Williams. And Williams rejected. And then a tie-up is called. The possession arrow favors Texas Tech.
Between them, and that's with Burns not doing much yet.
2 seconds on the shot clock for Texas Tech. McMillan catches it, puts it up, and hits.
He is a lethal guy, averaged 11 points coming off the bench as their 6th man and is one of their best 3-point shooters.
The transfer from Grand Canyon playing in his 3rd NCAA tournament.
Toussaint did a great job trying to deny that Horn getting the ball back. Great pressure.
A travel called against DJ Horn. Well, there's Jack Golke, who just had an unbelievable game against Kentucky for the Oakland Golden Grizzlies, giving his mom a hug. What a performance, and he's not done. Isaacs deep 3. Diarra with his 3rd rebound. Morcell in the paint. Off the front of the rim, Washington, whose foot is looking good so far with the rebound.
Yeah, I think he looks pretty good so far.
Isaacs is fouled by Morcell. Here's a look at our bracket. Oakland pulling the upset earlier tonight here in Pittsburgh. Jaden Taylor got a hand on that one. Isaacs right at Taylor. Misses the lay-in.
Absolutely no help on that. Very fortunate for NC State that he missed.
Horn right through the defense, but it won't go. Both teams shooting below 40% here in the first half as Toussaint hits. He's been their offense. He's got 11 of their 24. Burns with Washington on him. Oh, what a spin move by Burns.
This guy.
How does he do that?
He's got great feet, this guy. And he's a good ball handler, too.
Toussaint with a tough lay-in. 6 lead changes so far in the first half.
He's starting to feel it now.
Going to work again, not that time, but Diarra rejected by Washington. Washington knocked it out of bounds. May have gotten a piece of Diarra in the process.
See DJ Burns wheeling and dealing in the post. He's a very good ball handler. And he uses both hands very well around the basket. And then Joe Toussaint, nobody steps in to help.
Four to shoot. Burns has to go up with it. He does. And he gets the bounce.
Left hand, right hand, back you down.
His dad is feeling it too. His dad a probation officer, his mom a middle school principal. He started 0 for 4. Since then, Burns has made his last 3 in a row.
Great pass.
Toussaint connecting with Jennings, who's playing with 2 fouls. Offensive foul.
Well, take a look at this last basket that Jennings scores. He's all by himself under the basket, really because of a miscommunication right here between these two guys. O'Connell's got to slide inside of him. Instead, he's behind him and gives up a layup.
The illegal screen was called against DJ Burns right here, sticking out his behind, and that's his second foul. So Burns to the bench. Seen a couple of hip checks here tonight.
Yes, we have.
Building. Isaac on the give and go, and he finishes.
That was great moving about without the ball by Pop Isaacs there.
Grant McCaslin's family enjoying that as the Red Raiders go up by 3. Morsell, turnaround jumper. Diarra cleans it up.
He has been unbelievable on the glass for the last week.
And for Diarra, he has been fasting for Ramadan, so he doesn't have water from sunrise to sunset. So the late tip time is actually a huge benefit for Diarra, as when the sun went down tonight, he was able to eat and drink before the game. Coach only going 7 deep in the first half. 3:11 to play.
Jennings did a great job hedging out on DJ Horn.
There's Middlebrooks spinning and lost control, but a foul is called. Oh, and a little extracurricular after that one. Foul was called. Foul was called on Joe Toussaint. See, Middlebrooks and Toussaint got up, and then Diarra trying to play peacemaker. So a 1-and-1 for Ben Middlebrooks. Coming up, AT&T at the half. Get all the scores and highlights, plus the latest NCAA tournament news, all coming up on AT&T at the half. Middlebrooks puts the Wolfpack back in front.
Between Diarra, Middlebrooks, and Burns, they've really done a number on Texas Tech's bigs.
11 points off the bench for Ben Middlebrooks. Isaacs. And high in the air, Horn goes to get it. Good defense here by Texas Tech. Shot clock approaching 10. Middlebrooks baseline. Jennings with 2 fouls. Middlebrooks too strong. Good defense by Jennings.
I'm amazed at the physicality of the low post. I got to be honest with you.
O'Connell got a hand on it. Right back to Isaacs. McMillan, a 3. NC State +5 on the glass here in the first half.
Good pass.
Middlebrooks, tough shot, comes up short. Texas Tech has struggled from deep, just 2 of 11 on the night, with 90 seconds to go. Pop Isaacs turns it over.
Yeah, normally, Andrew, they make 8.5 threes a game.
Orcel with the triple. Just a 26% three-point shooter. And the NC State fans making some noise in Pittsburgh. A 3-minute scoring drought for Texas Tech. Toussaint trying to end that. Out of bounds to the Wolfpack.
Taking a lot of jump shots, Texas Tech. Not getting much in the lane.
He's feeling it. .45 seconds left. NC State has not used their timeout here in the first half. 7-0 run. Middlebrooks inside, counted and one. Largest lead of the night for either team.
How about this kid? Pick and roll, and they just leave him. Jennings hung around for too long. I'm sorry, Warren Washington hung out too long and didn't get back.
Middlebrooks has tied his career high with 14 points, and he's accomplished that in just 10 minutes.
Yeah, as we said, Andrew, the bigs for NC State have been doing a number on him.
2-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock.
We thought Warren Washington would make a big difference in that regard, too.
Isaacs left alone. Misses the 3. Toussaint the rebound. 3 seconds left. Here is Williams at the buzzer. A big shot for Texas Tech. their first points in the last 3 minutes and 58 seconds.
And I give Toussaint a lot of credit that instead of just firing it up with the clock winding down, he had the presence of mind, knowing there was time to get it to Darian Williams so he could make that shot.
See if that provides some momentum for Texas Tech when we come back to start the second half.
He said the second chance points were a concern in the first half. Giving NC State extra possessions can happen here in the second half. And he also added, we got to stop trying to hit home runs offensively. Early threes, tough passes, use the metaphor, a few more singles, and maybe stop that guy.
Well, a triple there for DJ Horn.
Yeah, this guy, and he's not that big, but you got to get to him quick.
Isaacs trying to match that. He does. Pop Isaacs, who was just 2 of 8 in the first half. And a quick start to the second half. Burns and Jennings going at it here. Burns with the spin off glass for 2.
He's so good with both hands, which is the other thing that makes him so effective in the low post.
Isaacs, tough catch. Isaacs and Diarra got a hand on it to knock it out of bounds.
Let's go back to how Pop Isaacs got this three-point shot. He's going to set an up screen. When he sets the up screen, O'Connell goes to help, and he ends up wide open right here. That's why when you tell your guys, the more screens you set, the more shots you get, and that's what Pop Isaacs did there.
Williams jumper, that's a 2, and it's good. So neither team shot the ball particularly well in the first half, but a good start here in the second half. Burns started 0 for 4. Since then, he's made each of his last 4 shot attempts. Going to work again on Jennings. A lot of contact. Offensive foul.
That's 2 that Jennings was able to get on Burns. I mean, yeah, that's a charge. I'll be honest with you. The way they bang back and forth, if Jennings decides to take a dive every time, they may call charges every time. I don't see any difference from that banging as other banging that was going on in this game.
DJ's dad does not agree. 3rd foul on Burns and the 2nd on the offensive end. So quickly, Middlebrooks is right back in. Toussaint, step back with the foul. Morsell is called for the foul. 2nd foul against Casey Morsell.
He goes underneath that screen, which is fine with Toussaint because he's a 30% three-point shooter, but then he comes down on his arm.
It sends Toussaint to the free throw line. Central, all new, all spring on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus. Toussaint has not come out tonight. He's played the entire game. He's got 15 points. Diarra, a 3. It's good.
Now that was a good three-point shot by Diarra. The one he took in the first half was too quick. That one, good passing, good movement, open shot.
His 20th three-pointer of the year. Isaacs.
Great job by Middlebrooks there, helping on that pick and roll.
Horn, transition 3. Middlebrooks fighting for it, but now relents as Williams brings it up. Williams was the Mountain West Freshman of the Year last season at Nevada. Washington inside. That's the second field goal of the night for Warren Washington, after having missed 8 of the last 9 games.
It's amazing how big dribble handoffs have become in the game of basketball.
Horn tied up, and a whistle and a foul called on Pop Isaacs, who does not agree. Second foul on Pop.
Looked like he got his arm.
Marcel catch and shoot. The glass is even, each team with 20 rebounds. Isaacs rejected by Middlebrooks.
I'll tell you, Middlebrooks has done a great job helping out in the lane on these pick and rolls.
He averaged 3 points per game at Clemson last year. Transferred to NC State this season and is having one of his best performances of the year. 13 minutes, 14 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 block for Middlebrooks. DJ Horn comes out, and Jaden Taylor back on the floor.
I mean, Jaden Taylor is one of their best players, and he has not scored yet. One of their highest scorers, I should say.
McMillan with the shot clock at 5. Step back jumper is good. Chance McMillan. 6 points. O'Connell. Great defense by Isaacs with 10 on the shot clock. Middlebrooks on the wing. Goes right by Washington.
Wow. I wasn't expecting that.
And a new career high for Ben Middlebrooks. He has 16 points. Isaacs swings it over to Williams. Shot clock down to 4. Washington couldn't handle the pass, but he touched it last.
Oh, that was off for Warren Washington.
They're saying
He also does football. These are the stories of March. When you see these teams at these sites, you get to know some of the personalities that make up the program.
there's no doubt, Evan, that's just an incredible story. And the radio broadcasts, I know we work in television, those are the guys that see these games day in, day out, around the team. So much admiration for all of the radio teams throughout the season. Hey, we got a good statistician too, in Ethan Cooper.
Oh, the best.
Here's Marcel, too strong, and the rebound to McMillan, who's had an active game for the Red Raiders. Toussaint draws the foul. It just seems that Texas Tech has not been able to make a run, get in a good rhythm tonight. A little choppy for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, very choppy. Haven't been able to string together a few baskets. And NC State has maintained control.
To watch today. Toussaint with the free throws has yet to make a field goal yet this half. Here's Horn. Middlebrooks trying to clean it up inside. Cannot. A whistle and a foul is called on Darian Williams. That's his second.
Middlebrooks, wow, does a great job of getting that rebound. And then the foul on Darian Williams.
DJ Burns continues to sit with 3 fouls, and Middlebrooks has certainly picked up the slack and then some.
Yeah, I mean, you can leave him out, no question. I mean, they're controlling the game, and Middlebrooks is playing well. Jaden Taylor doesn't look good. I think it's that foot bothering him.
Yeah, he played through the ankle injury in the ACC tournament title game. He was injured in the semifinals, not 100%. And Taylor tonight has not even attempted a shot. McMillan a 3. Nowhere close. NC State with Middlebrooks on the floor tonight is +9. Morcell no good, but the long rebound out to O'Connell.
And
right
Middlebrooks
back
got a hand on that.
Middlebrooks and a foul.
Middlebrooks got a hand on that, and that's why it ended up back out here. He's been so active in this game.
That's the 3rd foul on Kerwin Walton. And Middlebrooks right back at the line, the native of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Washington goes back to the bench. (19) for Middlebrooks. And a 5-point NC State lead. Middlebrooks has scored the last 5 points for the Wolfpack.
And one of the big problems for Texas Tech tonight is not really getting anything inside at all.
Williams had it poked away, but right to Jennings.
It wasn't a pass.
Wasn't a pass? I don't think so.
I think you had it right.
Got to be a little lucky in this month. O'Connell's been quiet tonight. He is yet to score for NC State.
Great pass.
Diarra off the feed from Horn.
Horn drives the baseline. He finds Diarra underneath.
4th assist for DJ Horn. McMillan fakes the 3, dribbles in, and knocks down the jumper.
I'll tell you, he's pretty good, and he gives them a lot off the bench.
Scored his 1,000th career point at the Big 12 tournament last week.
And NC State has done a good job in the half court of reversing the hold. That might be, look at that.
And DJ Horn called for the foul. Texas Tech is trying to tell the officiating crew to take a look at that.
I think that's what Grant McCaslin is asking.
Yep, they are going to look. Three-point lead. NC State has committed 4 offensive fouls in this game. It just ruled that a common foul, so no flagrant on that last foul going to commercial.
Middlebrooks does a great job of moving his feet. Oh, that's pretty good defense.
Wow, no call. Middlebrooks to the ground. Now we have a whistle and a foul against NC State. Kevin Keats doesn't like it. Gene Steratore is with us, and Gene, they just called this a common foul.
Yeah, and you know what? I think it's a good job by Tony Chaz and the crew. I think when DJ Horn hooks him, definitely an offensive foul. And when you see Joey Toussaint's head move like that and flip back, it's going to take you to review. But as we looked at the replays, there was no contact to the head neck area. A good job of a common foul, but not rising to the level of flagrant, guys.
All right, Gene, good stuff. Thank you very much. 3-point game. Williams trying to tie it. And the long rebound out to O'Connell.
And that's the thing about NC State in this game. They've been able to maintain control, you know, not losing that lead.
Horn, runner, yes, and the foul for DJ. 13 points for the Raleigh native.
Well, you see here there's a bit of a miscommunication with McMillan there and Jennings. Nobody really guards him till too late. Jennings tries to help in the end, comes in too late and fouls.
And that's the third foul for Robert Jennings. DJ Horn began his career at Illinois State, then transferred to Arizona State. And now in his final season, coming back to his hometown team, the Raleigh product, said, "This is why I came home, to play for NC State and try to make a deep run in March." Isaacs for three. He has not been able to get going. He's 3 of 11. And Diarra with the jam. Timeout, Texas Tech. Largest lead of the night for the Pack. Game number 4, and we do want to thank our entire crew, all the hardworking men and women with us here in Pittsburgh. 4th game of the day. Our producer Jonathan Siegel, director Andy Goldberg, our entire crew in the truck out here on the floor with the cameras, doing a great job all day and night in Pittsburgh.
And let me tell you something, NC State has done a great job. They only have 1 live ball turnover in this game.
And a steal by DJ Horn. Morcell ahead of the Pack. Morcell lays it in. A 7-0 run for the Wolfpack.
Yeah, that was a bad pass.
Washington down low and gets rid of it quickly. Isaacs for 3. Still can't get one to go, and it goes out of bounds to the Red Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, this was just a very careless pass. I don't know where Toussaint was throwing at. And Morcell with the finish.
Points off turnovers tonight, 10-3 in favor of NC State. Isaacs will keep shooting them. And a whistle and a foul over the back called against the Wolfpack. Well, in the last game for Texas Tech, the semifinal loss in the Big 12 tournament to Houston, Pop Isaacs had 6 points on 2 of 13 shooting. And tonight, 9 points on 3 out of 13 from the floor. So their top scorer has been off the mark the last 2 games, but still time with 10 minutes to go to try to get something going.
Look how fast Middlebrooks jumps out on that dribble handoff.
Washington with 5. Washington forces one up, and it goes, it doesn't go out of bounds, but a shot clock violation. And the NC State fans applaud the defense.
They've been very good defensively in the half court.
And now DJ Burns, who's going to come back in, and Ben Middlebrooks gets a huge hand as he comes out.
Very active. He's played a heck of a game.
Burns and Washington. Burns wants it. Burns muscles his way. It hits, and the place erupts.
That left-handed half hook. Wow. That's been the difference in the game. The inside play of NC State and really the lack of inside play by Texas Tech.
And Horn and Middlebrooks have combined for 33 points.
Dominated. And Diarra, throw him in there too.
Isaacs to Washington. Nice feed from Pop. 10-point game. DJ Burns, the footwork, the finesse, the finish. Such a fan favorite. Kevin Keats says he has an infectious personality, and we saw that at practice yesterday. He was singing every song, chatting it up with his teammates and the fans. He's calling for it again. Every time he gets the ball, the whole place goes wild.
There's got to be a foul here somewhere. I mean,
there's the foul.
This is the most banging I've seen all year. Look at that. That's not a foul?
Washington called for his third. Evan?
Guys, I got a chance to speak with DJ yesterday, and you're right. It's an infectious personality. Kevin Keats said he could run for mayor, and you could see that, and he agreed. I love my old school game, and you guys mentioned the footwork, and obviously we've seen his dad, the impact he had on him. He said his coaches growing up, as he got bigger, they still didn't want him dunking. They wanted him learning how to react off of body movement and placement and kind of use the defender's weight against them. And that's become the heart of his game. And I know football's come up, guys. He said he was a football player all the way through till 8th grade. But when he got his first scholarship offer by Winthrop in 8th grade, he called the high school football coach that day and said, I'm going to focus on hoops.
It's quite a story, Evan, as Toussaint misses. He started at Tennessee, a redshirt year with the Vols, and then he transferred to Winthrop. He went, as Evan said, to Winthrop camps as a kid. So when he left Tennessee, there was a connection at Winthrop, and now in his second year at NC State.
And they throw it to him every possession. Here's again, he gets it again.
Every time.
And the whole place goes crazy every time he catches it. And now it's an open three. Well, that was a good job by Darian Williams there, closing out on a horn. Oh, he's stuck.
And a steal by Isaacs, who bounces it to Toussaint. Toussaint all the way out of control, out of bounds to Texas Tech. The Red Raiders have just one field goal in the last 4 minutes. 7:48 to go. How does Texas Tech make a run, Lap?
They got to get some stops, and they haven't been able to stop NC State, especially the big guys in the middle. Then they got to rebound and look to go, and they've had nothing in the lane on offense. Pops Isaac's got to start making some shots.
Isaacs cuts to the middle and a turnover.
Yeah, I mean, Kerwin Walton hasn't done anything. He's a really good three-point shooter. Darian Williams has been just okay. Just no consistent offense.
Here comes the arena again.
That's unbelievable.
Burns with 7 on the shot clock, tied up down low. And the possession arrow favors Texas Tech. And Kevin Keats is going to take him out, cool him down a little bit. Middlebrooks back on the floor. Well, Kevin Keats told us that fatigue was a concern for him. Obviously playing 5 games in 5 days at the ACC tournament. He said he was very careful with the way they practiced this week and admitted to us yesterday he wasn't sure what kind of effort he would get from his guys. Well, wow, have they really turned out tonight. O'Connell running the break coast to coast. O'Connell missed it. O'Connell still scoreless tonight.
It's a hell ball.
Tie up. It'll go back to NC State.
That was really good defense there.
Texas Tech is 4 of 21 from deep, and they've missed each of their last 6 attempts.
And you talk about a team that normally shoots it very well, 37%, and makes 8.5 a game. But give NC State credit, their half-court defense has been very good.
DJ Burns right back on the floor. Gets it here, goes to work. Yes. His dad loving it. 14 for Burns. Toussaint in traffic, bounces it, and Jennings draws the foul.
NCAA State Final equivalent DJ Burns is foul. Team 7.
Two shots for Robert Jennings, the sophomore from DeSoto, Texas. Well, spring is officially here, signaling the return to Augusta National Golf Club for a tradition unlike any other. The Masters this April on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.
Now Texas Tech coming with some full court pressure, trying to shake this thing up a little bit. That's a foul on Toussaint.
Collision at midcourt, and Toussaint called for the foul.
Yeah, he goes across his arm there. Clearly a foul.
Well, they're saying Burns has 4, but we're trying to clarify that. I think he only has 3.
I think he only has 3, and I'm sure Kevin Keith thinks he only has 3.
Yeah, I don't think he'd be out there right now.
No, he definitely wouldn't be. Especially the way he plays, he definitely wouldn't be.
Yeah, we'll get some clarification on that, but he's out there. I wouldn't think he would be. He's calling for it. Diarra bounces it to him. Burns, what a move, and he's fouled by Jennings.
Talk about a crowd favorite. I mean, Jennings is holding him every way he can. He's a hard matchup, this guy.
The NC State fans are chanting, "You can't guard him."
The truth is, nobody could guard him last week either. 5 straight games.
Well, he was named the ACC Tournament MVP, and that included his first career three-pointer. Came in the championship game, his first 3 in his 160th career game. Now, we're being told he does have 4 fouls. So he's still out there, though. Middlebrooks is at the scorer's table.
Well, yeah, he shouldn't be out there. He should be sitting for at least 2 minutes till the under 4. And you know, he can get an offensive foul in a second.
He's already committed 2, and now he's going to come out. .5:35 to go. Isaacs is back on the floor. DJ Horn with 14 points tonight. Looking for more. Diarra goes up and is fouled. What a rebound by Mohamed Diarra.
He has been unbelievable on the glass. What he did last week, 60 rebounds in 5 games.
And he's got 8 more tonight, including 3 on the offensive end.
And that's just a great rebound.
1 and 1 for Diarra. Well, it is after midnight, but come on. Do better than that. Chance of NC State. Diarra with 1 more free throw, and Texas Tech is down to 1 timeout remaining. Three and a half minutes without a field goal for the Red Raiders. Walton, a 3.
I mean, he's one of their best 3-point shooters. Finally getting one off.
5 minutes to go, a 10-point game. Earlier today, we saw Nevada blow a huge lead against Dayton. Diarra trying to make sure that does not happen here in Pittsburgh.
Great move down low.
Walton, another three, is an air ball. Horn makes the catch. Diarra is 4 for 4 this half. And he's 2 rebounds away from a double-double. Horn out to O'Connell, right back inside to Middlebrooks with a shot clock at 5. Middlebrooks,
This guy's pretty good.
Isaacs draws the foul.
Thank you, Jamie, for teeing me up there.
How about that?
I think she wanted to talk to me. She hadn't talked to me. She talks to you all the time.
Oh, we miss Jamie. Great to have her with us in the studio. 3:52 to go. And we got a 13-point game. Some pressure here from Texas Tech.
Good job by Taylor coming to meet that pass.
Bounces it to Burns for 2 more.
Attack the pressure. That's how you beat pressure, just like that.
40-20 in the paint in favor of the Wolfpack. McMillan a deep 3. Walton the rebound. And McMillan cuts but missed it. Diarra the board. And Diarra now has a double-double. 15 points, 10 rebounds. His 5th double-double of the year.
They're going to start using some clock now. Great pass right out.
Kevin Keats just came on the court and slapped DJ Burns to try to get him to run down the floor.
That's his foul on 12.
Toussaint, he has struggled here in the second half. No field goals.
Isaacs at the line.
Pop Isaacs at the line. Toussaint, no field goals, only taken 2 shots. It's really been a helter-skelter kind of game for Texas Tech. And a foul called against Williams.
Texas Tech up on 5.
That's number 4 against Williams as Burns goes back to the bench. That's a funny game, isn't it, Steve? You think about NC State. They had lost 7 of 9 going into the ACC tournament. There was speculation that Kevin Keats' job was in jeopardy. They go to Washington, they win 5 games in 5 days, and now on the verge of moving on to the second round.
It's an incredible story.
And as Evan told us at the beginning of the game, Kevin Keats is very superstitious. I think you're going to see the same exact outfit if they hold on and play again on Saturday. Taylor with a big rebound.
Big rebound.
Stays like this, we're going to have 2 wins by double-digit seeds in the night session, and we had 1 this afternoon with Oregon, the 11 seed. Let's go over to Evan.
Guys, it's late. You know, I need a little energy, and I learned something talking to NC State the last few days. After every win on the road or neutral site, there's ice cream waiting for the Wolfpack in the locker room. This is, again, something Kevin Keats lives by. He's done it all the way back to his UNC Wilmington days. But the concern was, with the late tip, would they be able to find a place for fresh ice cream for postgame? I'm being told they have, but we'll have to see if DJ Burns wants to get an early taste here, if they can hold on and win this one.
What about the rest of us?
Yeah, where's our
You have ice cream. We got. What do we get?
I thought you guys were waiting for Jamie to show up there, Catalan.
Jamie brought us milkshakes last year, so maybe you should try to, follow suit.
This is the food crew, I've learned.
Yeah, I like food. That's for sure. That looks
Look at
good,
that. Doesn't
man.
this look good?
Yeah, it does.
There's a lot happening here.
Well, what are you waiting for? Come on.
Well, it's for DJ, guys. Let's keep it quiet. I'm going to give this to the big man.
Ah, I see what you're doing there.
Got our own ice cream waiting at the hotel, boys.
I think Lap's going for something more than ice cream at the hotel.
Gonna be a late night at the hotel.
2:09 to go. DJ Horn checks out 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists for Horn.
And this was an energetic effort by NC State, I have to tell you. They played very hard the whole game.
Williams knocks it down, and Grant McCaslin will use his final timeout.
Thank you, Jamie, for teeing me up there.
How about that?
I think she wanted to talk to me. She hadn't talked to me. I want to talk to you all the time.
Oh, we miss Jamie. Great to have her with us in the studio. 3:52 to go. And we got a 13-point game. Some pressure here from Texas Tech.
Good job by Taylor coming to meet that pass.
Bounces it to Burns for 2 more.
Attack the pressure. That's how you beat pressure, just like that.
40-20 in the paint in favor of the Wolfpack. McMillan a deep 3. Walton the rebound. And McMillan cuts but missed it. Diarra the board. And Diarra now has a double-double. 15 points, 10 rebounds. His 5th double-double of the year.
They're going to start using some clock now. Great pass right out.
Kevin Keats just came on the court and slapped DJ Burns to try to get him to run down the floor. Toussaint, he has struggled here in the second half. No field goals. Pop Isaacs at the line. Toussaint, no field goals, only taken 2 shots. It's really been a helter-skelter kind of game for Texas Tech. And a foul called against Williams.
Texas Tech up on 5.
That's number 4 against Williams as Burns goes back to the bench. That's a funny game, isn't it, Steve? You think about NC State. They had lost 7 of 9 going into the ACC tournament. There was speculation that Kevin Keats' job was in jeopardy. They go to Washington, they win 5 games in 5 days, and now on the verge of moving on to the second round.
It's an incredible story.
And as Evan told us at the beginning of the game, Kevin Keats is very superstitious. I think you're going to see the same exact outfit if they hold on and play again on Saturday. Taylor with a big rebound.
Big rebound.
stays like this, we're going to have 2 wins by double-digit seeds in the night session, and we had one this afternoon with Oregon, the 11 seed. Let's go over to Evan.
Guys, it's late. You know, I need a little energy, and I learned something talking to NC State the last few days. After every win on the road or neutral site, there's ice cream waiting for the Wolfpack in the locker room. This is, again, something Kevin Keats lives by. He's done it all the way back to his UNC Wilmington days. But the concern was, with the late tip, would they be able to find a place for fresh ice cream for postgame? I'm being told they have, but we'll have to see if DJ Burns wants to get an early taste here, if they can hold on and win this one.
What about the rest of us?
Yeah, where's our
You have ice cream. We got. What do we get?
I thought you guys were waiting for Jamie to show up there, Cadillac.
Jamie brought us milkshakes last year, so maybe you should try to, follow suit.
This is the food crew, I've learned.
Yeah, I like food. That's for sure. That looks
Look at
good.
this. Doesn't
man.
this look good?
Yeah, it does.
A lot happening here.
Well, what are you waiting for? Come on.
Well, it's for DJ, guys. Let's keep it quiet. I'm going to give this to the big man.
Ah, I see what you're doing there.
Got our own ice cream waiting at the hotel, boys.
I think Lap's going for something more than ice cream at the hotel.
Going to be a late night at the hotel.
2:09 to go. DJ Horn checks out 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists for Horn.
And this was an energetic effort by NC State, I have to tell you. They played very hard the whole game.
Williams knocks it down, and Grant McCaslin will use his final timeout with 1:53 to go. Full court pressure from Texas Tech. Out of timeouts. O'Connell. Oh, Diarra was there, but O'Connell will bring it back.
Yeah, good job just holding it out. It looks like Texas Tech not going to foul.
Four to shoot. Diarra is going to have to go up with it. He does. Walton's three is good. 76-64, 109 to go. Horn goes to the ground. He traveled. So the ball goes right back to the Red Raiders. Williams back to Isaacs. Isaacs from the logo. Walton the long rebound. McMillan thought about a three. Now Walton will fire and hit. 76-67 with 52 seconds to go. 8 points in the last 63 seconds for Texas Tech. You got a foul here now.
Yeah,
right?
you got a foul.
Why not?
I mean, you just made a couple of threes in a row.
There's the foul. It'll be Morcell going to the line, an 80% free throw shooter.
2 shots.
NC State at the free throw line tonight, 80%. Eight points, 3 steals for Casey Morcell. And Breon Pass will enter for the first time tonight, replacing DJ Horn. Taylor trying to rip it away. Great defense by Taylor. Either team will let go. We don't want to see anything like that.
No.
Tie-up is called. It'll stay with Texas Tech. When was the last time you were up this late, Lap?
What are you, a wise guy?
Oh, a steal by Pass. The exclamation point for the Wolfpack.
And the dream lives on.
Shot clock turned off. Grant McCaslin says let's not foul. And NC State on a magical ride. And it continues in the month of March. The 10th seed in the ACC tournament is now moving on to the second round of the NCAA tournament. First tournament win for the Wolfpack since 2015 in this arena.